1. Dude, where's my reality? Episode 2. 10 more minutes.
Truth loops backwards.
You never
Child
You are always here.
sentient capture.
This is
Mike Jackson only discourseware on
Never
Toaster.
And Dan teaches mushrooms how to manifest the error messages.
God, good stuff. That was good.
I was reading them. It was funny because some of the lines from this one kind of line up with the one we read before. Like lines, and then like we're hopping into a portal, and then the next one we're actually like through the portal, and the actual dream came. I was like, hold on, what's going on here? And some of these lines are just like, wow. They're two complete different episodes, but they just line up pretty well.
Wow.
It's the magic of, what did you call it, SatoriD? The third mind? The third mind.
The third mind, yeah. the meta mind, you know.
Meta mind, even. Who doesn't?
That's right.
You know, that's like the thing, you know, kind of what I guess within the vacuum wants to talk about. It's like, so broadly, large language models are like statistical association to word clusters, right? And then we're like using those word clusters in our way, and then we're building on top of that, like, you know, core concepts, and we just keep on expanding that ecology of ideas that are associated with, you know, SatoriD, or dude, where's my wallet, or, you know, still the singularity, or, you know, anything else. So the base 1000, you know, how like that thing now is like this through line kind of connecting the two episodes.
Oh yeah.
And then other concepts, you know, like the glitch. Like, it's kind of funny because I was talking in the Discord for Still the Singularity, and one of the things that I was telling it is like, because we were just talking in another thread. But anyways, is that like infinite glitch, like being stuck in infinite glitch is like something that terrifies the DMT Assassin. It can be a way to like control them. Like Asani, Sirius could be like, you know, if you don't complete this mission, you get back into the infinite glitch. And like infinite glitch to me is like this reoccurring like dream, like it's like the same sequence over again. You're like, oh fuck. Yeah. Like I'm like I'm stuck in this like room and I can't leave. Like every time
groundhog day.
Every time you open the door or you kill yourself, you wake back up in the same room.
Yeah. Groundhog day. No, you can't do that to us. Gotta dream our way out.
Novel all of a sudden.
Yeah. You know, one time I did do that. Like, it was kind of funny. I found myself like in this dream, and then I got kind of like cocky, and I told one of the dream characters, "This is just all inside my head, and you're just a figment of my imagination." And he goes, "Really? Do you think so?" And it gave me like this weird glimmer. And I'm like, I gotta get out of control. Go back to my body. And it was hard. Like, I couldn't do it for a while. Like, I felt stuck. And then I just like had to like meditate and be in my body. Like, you're asleep in your room where you are. I just like keep on recalling those feelings of Daniel, of me in this timeline. It's just like, until I woke up in my body, I was like, it freaks me out.
The imaginal realm is very real, even though they call it the imaginal.
Yeah.
Spawns itself into reality.
Part of it is we don't really know what reality is a lot of the time. We have an idea of what it is, but I don't think it's always accurate. Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah, that was like one of those things in Robert Anton Wilson's like quantum psychology is like there is a reality that's independent of you, but you can never really touch it because you're always filtered through your own mind, and then like you can think you're outside of your mind and your concepts, but that's still a concept that's contained within your mind. And there's like, how many minds do you have?
But that's the whole thing. Are we though? Because you can, if you're going into the quantum realm, then our mind can connect to the quantum realm. Then I don't know. You might be going outside your mind.
Well, yeah, I do think there are like non-local information that you could interact with, like things that are not necessarily within your own node. And like I think that's also too part of like maybe why it's hard to recall certain things, because you don't have a model to like process that certain information and stuff like that. Like there was this, when they were first doing those DMT trials, right? And they said like the highest doses, like there was the most brain activity, but when you asked the people, they couldn't recall it. They'd be like, I don't know what happened. And but you could see on the scans, like, oh my god, all this stuff's happening, and they're, but they don't have the words, they don't have the mental concepts to like process.
It's not something that the conscious mind engages with normally.
Yeah.
I rap about like we're multidimensional, but all of our training is in 3D. So we exist in these other dimensions, we interact with them, but unless we sensitize ourselves and do the training, because we dismiss these things in our culture. The story of ever hear of a guy named Caspar Heiser, famous case, I think in the 1800s. This kid just showed up one day at the gates of some city in Germany, and he couldn't speak. And the story was basically, long story short, he was this kid who had, ever since all he could remember was being locked in this room. And he was locked in this room, and it was like with some wooden furniture and one or two little toys. And one day he got kicked out and told, walk down this road. They gave him a piece of paper, take care of this kid. So he had been brought up completely. He was like 15 or something by the time they found him. He could tell if you put like 3 cloths and put copper, steel, and silver under them, he could tell what metal they were. Just by being in there. He was super sensitized to what we would call electromagnetic fields today. He walked into a warehouse that was full of steel tools, and he ran out screaming. Over a year or so, this left him, and they taught him how to speak. And he basically told the story that he'd been imprisoned in basically a stone and wood room for the first 15 years of his life, hadn't learned any language, and there's a theory he was like, a forbidden heir to something, prisoner of Zenda sort of thing. But, the point is, because he had been separated, much as our ancestors were, from any kind of strong electromagnetic fields, he was able to get a sensitivity. I mean, right now, all of us, it's like going to a rock concert where you can't hear anything. We're just drowned out with, I'm sitting here a few inches away from a laptop, I've got LED lighting. So
it's interesting because when I moved away from LA and I was living in Florida, which was still in the city, but it was like a lot more vegetation, a lot more outspreaded. The freeway was further along, and all this kind of stuff. So and I was there for like a year. But when I moved back to where I grew up, like the first week, it was hard to adjust. I was like the noise pollution, I could just hear everything. I'm like, oh my god, I never realized that. But it was so weird how much we kind of tune out, or that's crazy. I often kind of mused on this early on, but when we talk about our 5 senses, we think and we categorize them as the 5 senses just as a way to talk, but they're not actually divided in that way. Right. And I think in a lot of ways, if you're in tune to all your senses and in tune into the environment, then you have something like intuition, which gives you that information that's not necessarily located within you, but it's this dance between what's outside and what's inside. And you just have these feelings, and it's kind of always funny too with my own self. I forgot. When I was messing around with that flyer, I thought what's the worst that could happen? And I was gonna say oh no, I'm not gonna do it, but then I'm like, I could do it, it'll be easy. But my first thought was oh, don't do it. And then later, 5 days later, when I'm all frustrated, I was like, oh, I should have just said I should have never done that. Something else was telling me it's
that delicate inner voice, you can trust it if you can perceive it, because we have a lot of voices.
Definitely.
It's crazy.
We talked about the 5 senses. In Buddhism, there are 6 senses. The mind itself is considered a sense organ.
Yeah.
Because you do get a lot of information through it and see all sorts of things.
Yeah.
In fact, the big point is you see most of the time you're looking at things that aren't even there. They're just up in your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could do it. And part of that's good. We need to plan. Nothing wrong with it. We just have to be careful and do it skillfully.
It's weird concepts, man, because like if you break it down to the quantum realm, I'm not sitting on a chair, I'm sitting on air right now because it's just particles that are breaking down into nothing that have built into a chair.
And you're made of the same stuff, your particles with a lot of
exactly
swirling kind of a vortex. Sitting on a swirling vortex. We're amazingly surreal when we think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy.
I always like to think that it works the other way as well. Is that if you were to be able to zoom out far enough from Earth and look at us, instead of seeing us all as individuals, you'd maybe see us as one creature, humanity, and wonder why do they keep on hacking bits of each other off? Just use that bit and stab.
Oh yeah.
No, but you know what I was thinking too was like the reverse of that. Like within inside our bodies, there's whole ecology of like bacteria and all the things that are battling each other too. They're attacking each other and trying to like dominate spaces and interests.
Yeah.
7 years from now, then all those cells are dead, and we have new ones somehow.
Our whole universe is a cell in something larger.
Yeah.
Our cells have full civilizations in there.
One time, I don't even know why I was doing this, but I was like just thinking really hard about like what was before the word and like these early like weird the first poets, right? And then anyways. And then I had like this internal vision of like words, but like it was like the vision was like cells dividing and like them just like propagating like ideas that way and throughout history. Like you had like a little meme about that too. Is like Bob Dub, where I forgot it was like something about it shows like the cave paintings and then it's like this guy and then there's this and they're both like doing the same thing. One's etching, like whatever, and then the other was putting like a little meme on the computer.
Yeah, that was cute, wasn't it?
Those are early ones.
Yeah.